The University of Alabama has fired a part-time employee who played songs aimed at Auburn quarterback Cam Newton before the Iron Bowl. University spokeswoman Debbie Lane told Chase Goodbread of the Tuscaloosa News in an email on Monday that the part-time staffer was fired for the unauthorized songs. "Take the Money and Run" and "Son of a Preacher Man" were played while Newton and the Tigers strolled the field prior to Friday's game, but in a late development today, Tuscaloosa News executive sports editor Tommy Dees reported a higher-ranking athletic department staffer approved the song choices. The NCAA has been investigating allegations that Newton's father, a pastor, solicited $180,000 from Mississippi State during recruiting. Lane said in a statement that all the music and videos played in the stadium before and during games have to be approved by a senior athletic administrator. She said the staffer, who was not named, did not get those songs cleared. But again, today, according to Tommy Dees, that was not necessarily the case. Okay, we're going to get back to football and discuss Alfie Hill, the prized recruit who enrolled at Alabama, was practicing, then was told he was ineligible, announced that he was going to transfer to East Carolina. From what I understand, actually enrolled there for a short time, but then decided to go the junior college route to try to come back to Alabama, and he's going to wind up over here in neighboring Mississippi at Itawamba Community College. You and I are very familiar with the junior college system in Mississippi. It's terrific football, and this will be an excellent opportunity for him to grow as a player and find his way back to Tuscaloosa.
Interesting that he ended up at Itawamba. Actually, I thought he would end up at Arizona Western, you know, where Alabama got Jesse Williams, and he's also recruiting Aaron Douglas, a junior college offensive tackle. But I thought that's probably where Alfie would end up, so it's interesting that he did end up at Itawamba in Mississippi. And, you know, we'll see what happens. He has to go there for 3 semesters before he can return to Alabama, so let's see. But he's got a lot of raw talent, Gary. Again, he's raw, but, you know, he's got a lot of ability.
So might see him in that Crimson 13 again sometime in the future. All right, phone callers are lined up, waiting on us, so let's get right to it. Tim and Coleman, you're first up tonight. Welcome in to TITV. Tim.
I'm making it today.
Hey, Tim, doing great. Go ahead, my friend.
I just want to, just touch on, how the guys that got injured, how healthy are we, and then, one loss ain't going to end their season. We just got the character of the guys that got. I know they're going to step up and take this bowl game.
Good comments, Tim. A lot of fans need to pay attention to what you said. There is football to be played. It is just one game. I know it stings if you're an Alabama fan. As far as the injuries are concerned, because there is no game this week or until the bowl game, we really haven't gotten any updates, but there is no doubt, as we alluded to earlier, the Tide came out of that game really, really banged up and beaten up physically, so I'm sure they're all enjoying the rest.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait till bowl practices start, and maybe we'll get an update then.
All right, let's go to Fayette and talk with Gary. Welcome in, Gary, to TITV. Gary, you with us? Going once, going twice, gone. Gary wanted to know about the recruiting status of Marvin Shin out of Pritchard.
Yep, out of Viger High School, top wide receiver prospect, and he's been committed to Alabama for a long time. As you know, Gary, you're probably wondering about a story we had on TiderInsider.com where he said he was somewhat interested in Auburn, and again, I think he's going to look at Auburn. He may look at some others, but right now he's still committed to Alabama. We'll see how it shakes out in the end. And
on the rumor mill on the internet, which is a lot of different places you can get information, but strong comments that Callaway out of Russellville may be considering the Tigers.
Well, we had that story too, and with Brent Callaway, from Russellville, the outstanding linebacker. And, Auburn's continued to recruit him, though he's been committed to Alabama since, the summer of '09, quite a long time. And he was just finishing his sophomore year in high school when he committed. And, he's still committed, Gary. And until he changes, all I know is he's looking around. He told us as of now, he's solid to Alabama. So just have to go with that.
All right, let's go to Tuscaloosa and talk with CB. CB, what's going on there, buddy?
I don't know it, man. It's a nightmare game, but we still love the Tide. What I was going to ask y'all right quick was, during the season, it looked like to me it got worse, or maybe it's just me. I know the coach will straighten it out, but too many men on the field so many times, or timeouts wasted.
Right. It's not just you, CB. It was a problem. I mean, anybody that's watched any football or played any football can see that with all the personnel groupings and all the things that they're trying to do in terms of getting defenders in and out of the game pre-snap, based on what the offense is doing, it caused some problems. It caused some confusion. It caused some timeouts to be wasted. It caused some penalties.
Yeah.
It's something that they need to clean up. It's difficult, again, because of the offenses that you're facing, but it was an issue.
Well, and the timeouts at the end really hurt.
Right.
Alabama could have had some more time and, possibly an opportunity to kick a field goal if they would have had more, time on the clock that they could have spent when Auburn had the ball there late. So, or more timeouts that they could have spent. But anyway, yeah, it certainly hurt, CB.
And that's something you're right, CB. They're going to have to try to clean that up before the bowl game. All right, we're going to take a time out. More phone calls and emails. Give us a ring if you haven't gotten through already. 205-348-WVUA. We'll be right back after this. Got an email from Alex, and this is a timely email. What do you think about the possibility of B.J. Scott transferring Rodney? There's a published report today from Mike Herndon of the Mobile Press Register that B.J. has put into motion a plan to try to transfer the University of South Alabama. The article states that it looks like that's expected to be approved by the University of Alabama, and that a guy who, when he signed with the Crimson Tide, you and I both thought, coming out of Viger High School, that he was as talented as an athlete as just about anybody we had seen.
Yeah, and it was a big pickup because, as you remember, Alabama had struggled recruiting in that area, and B.J. Scott was the first really big-time player of that magnitude from that area that had committed to Alabama in a long time. And again, he was a big recruit when he came in, started on offense, went to defense, just never materialized. Again, he's a great athlete. Hopefully he does well if he transfers.
Yeah, and a little disappointed that we didn't get to see him more. I mean, he started out on offense, then he redshirted last year, and then this year when he came in, and which was not very often, when he came in, he played well. I remember the game against Tennessee where he played that fade pattern as well as we've seen anybody play it all year, and made a great play. But yeah, you hope it works out for him at South Alabama because he's a nice young man and a talented athlete. All right, let's go back to the phones and talk with John and Helena. John, welcome into the program.
Hey guys. Hey, what I was wondering is Mark Barron couldn't pick up his right arm. He could have intercepted that pass or even knocked it down. Isn't it best to play a defensive back with two arms instead of one arm?
Well, John, you make a good point, and I'm not going to sit here and say you don't, because you do. And if it's true that he tore his pectoral muscle on the touchdown that Blake got the freshman in the first half when he tried to strip the ball, then in my opinion, of course I don't know everything, I don't know how bad he was hurt, but if that's the case, yeah, I would think you would have, with all the defensive backs they've recruited, I said this earlier, I think you'd have somebody else to play strong safety. Yeah. I know he's a great football player, but he wasn't at 100%, and John's right. He should have made the play on that ball.
Yeah, he should have made the play. There's no question. But again, I don't know to what extent the injury impacted, his ability to make that play, though, so I can't really comment on that, and I'm not going to. But again, he was in position to make the play. I don't know if he lost the ball or he just overran the guy a little bit, but certainly he was in position. All he had to do, if nothing else, if he didn't make a play on the ball, was hit the guy.
And big play in the game because Alabama had it covered. Newton, it looked like it was about a one-man route. He was going there the whole way. You had a corner on him. You had a safety coming over the top. And if you knock that ball down, who's to say? Alabama probably wins the game, but you could say that about a lot of those plays.
Well, and you talk about his right hand. All he had to do was stick up his left hand. It was on the left side.
Just didn't happen. And it was a 70-yard touchdown. And turned the game around, no doubt about it. All right, Bobby in Gordo is with us. Bobby, welcome in.
Yeah. Hey, roll tide. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm just saying, after the national championship game, it was good to see them go 9-3. I'm proud of them, proud of the coaching staff. It looks like we got a good future.
Good comments, Bobby. No doubt about it. Well, still to come, two former Crimson Tide players ascended to the ranks of collegiate coaches. We'll have that story. And also, we'll have our prediction recap for the year. It wasn't the best for Rodney and I, but nonetheless, we'll have it coming up next on TITV. Well, just like the Tide, Rodney and I went 9-3 in our predictions. I should have bested you, Rodney. Remember, I picked LSU preseason.
But you didn't have the guts to stick with it.
That's right. That's right. So not a great year for us. Not a great year for Alabama based on the expectations, but a good year. So we tie in predictions this year, and heck, 2011 will be
We tied last year.
Yeah.
We're both undefeated.
Yeah,
that was my second undefeated season.
Well, look at you.
Well, you said you should have bested me, so if you want to get in a contest, I'm going to just tell the truth.
All right, we're going to put a little money on the line in 2011. And before we go tonight, we'd like to congratulate a good buddy of ours, former Alabama player Todd Bates. He'll be joining Coach Mike Kramer's new staff at Idaho State. He'll coach the defensive line. Also, Bates' former teammate Rudy Griffin is headed to ISU as well as the inside linebackers coach. And talking about Griffin, it made us think back to maybe his most memorable moment playing for the Tide. In 2005 at Mississippi State, you might remember Griffin picking up a fumble and heading for the end zone. The one problem was
Todd Hoyer.
Our Todd Hoyer was in his way. Get the heck out of the way. Hoyer, though, hung in there, got up, got a great shot on it. I mean, you talk about 3D.
Hey, at least Todd can say he made a tackle.
Yeah, he did. Here you go. See Todd. There he goes.
Well, not quite.
Anyway, yeah, one more time, right there. Highlight of Rudy Griffin's career, the touchdown.
Man, Rudy's not but what, 6 feet tall?
Yeah, he's about
Todd looks him square in the belly.
Yeah, he's only a few inches taller than Hoyer. All right, thanks for watching tonight. It's dinner time. Tonight, Rodney and I are headed to the Pottery Grill over in Northport. Great barbecue. Join us. Remember, you can catch the show anytime you want on our website, WVUATV.com. So for Rodney Orr, I'm Gary Harris. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week on Tider Insider Television.